Shut threshold.
The border
Shut it
down. Wow.
It calls for over $20 billion in border security measures that include hiring new asylum officers and border security agents, expanding the number of detention beds and increasing screenings for fentanyl and other drugs.
Wow, that's all tough.
The bill would end the practice of catch and release and raise the standard of asylum, which would send those away who do not qualify more quickly, while expediting the process for cases that do.
Republicans must love this.
The legislation grants a new emergency authority to the White House and the Homeland Security Department to close the border once encounters reach a certain threshold.
The border
Shut it
down. Wow.
The House Republican leadership say they won't bring the bill up for a vote, with Speaker Mike Johnson saying it's even worse than expected. No, it's
that's
not.
just a lie.
I'm a little confused how it's worse than expected when it builds border wall, expands deportation flights, expands ICE officers, Border Patrol officers, detention beds, how it creates a faster process for deportation, how it clears up a lot of the long-term issues and loopholes that have existed in the asylum law, and then gives us an emergency authority that stops the chaos right now on the border.
To go down it, it's a Republican wish list. And now, just because Mike is being told by Donald not to pass this bill, to continue to allow fentanyl to flood into the country, continue to allow illegal immigrants to flood into this country, what do we have? We have a situation where they want to keep the border open because it's bad for America, and they believe what's bad for America is good for Donald Trump.
It seems like the border is going to go unaddressed, and this is something that poll after poll shows Americans want its leaders to deal with. Republicans for months have said we will, until Donald Trump said, I'd like to preserve that as a campaign issue.
No, I think this bill can and will pass the United States Senate. Listen, I take Republicans at their word. Last fall, when we tried to pass legislation through the Senate that would fund Ukraine, that would stop Vladimir Putin from winning this war, Republicans said, no, we won't support Ukraine funding unless you come to a bipartisan deal to try to better control the border. I was skeptical of our ability to do that because it's been 40 years since we've passed bipartisan immigration or border reform. But we worked for the last 4 months, myself, Senator Lankford, a really conservative Republican, Senator Sinema, and we achieved that bipartisan compromise. I just believe that there are enough Republicans in the Senate who are sincere about solving the problem, as opposed to those who want chaos at the border because Donald Trump thinks it's a good election issue, that we can get this passed. But we'll see. We'll have a vote in the next 2 to 3 days.